to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. And if you're new here, hello. My name is Ashley. I run things here at Oh Crow Gal, and I'm doing a recipe video today. I've been talking for forever about wanting to film more recipe videos. I mentioned like once the refrigerator was fixed, I'm really gonna try to get on my like filming my meal prep and filming recipe video game. So we're starting today. So today I'm doing a recipe video and it's actually a collab. It's a collab with Lindsay over at Because We Bike, and Lindsay's awesome. I really like her channel, and let me tell you why I like her channel. I like it because it's different than mine. I feel like it's different than mine, and it's different than a lot of channels that I watch. Number one, she's in Canada, so it's kind of interesting to see someone in another country do keto, what kind of stores they go to, what they buy, prices, that type of thing. But also she just does keto differently than me. She does multiple fasts a week. She takes exogenous ketones, eats a little bit differently. I just think it's kind of what makes the keto world go round, that we all do keto in, you know, different ways that work the best for our body, and that's why I really enjoy her channel. So she does what I eat in a day daily, if not almost daily, hauls every now and then. She does reviews. She does a lot of really good keto content. So go over there, go subscribe to her, please. I know that she's, let me check and see. I know she's really close to 100 subscribers, and if we could all like band together as a keto community and get her to 100, she's at 72 subscribers. So if we could all do that together and get her to 100 because of this collab, that would be really, really neat. All right, that's enough of that. Let's get into what we're actually doing today. So we decided we wanted to do a recipe collab because we thought it would be interesting to see kind of how various ingredients price-wise compare to the States and Canada, but also because we both really enjoy cooking. So we kind of went back and forth messaging each other different recipes, and we finally settled on this one, which is keto dirty cauliflower rice. So the ingredients are fairly minimal. Most of them are spices. So that being said, when you see kind of, after I show you the ingredients, I'm gonna go over what I actually had to buy and how much each thing spent, how much each thing cost, how much it calculates out to per meal. And obviously that's gonna vary person to person because I had all the spices that I needed. I had, you know, avocado oil. So it is gonna vary, but I still think that it's interesting to see like, okay, if I made this recipe and I had half the ingredients, didn't have the other half, you know, how much would it cost? So that's what we're doing today. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna show you all of the ingredients, go over some prices, and then we'll get to cooking. All right, so the first thing this recipe calls for is 3 tablespoons of pretty much any oil of your choice. They suggest bacon fat or avocado oil. Then you're gonna need 16 ounces of, it says ground venison or ground meat of your choice. I'm obviously going with ground beef. I definitely normally prefer 80-20, but they didn't have that at the store I got my beef at, so we went with 85-15. You're gonna need 12 ounces of riced cauliflower. You're gonna need some onion, some bell pepper. There's also some celery in there. Just kind of like a pro tip, I always do this. If I am planning for a recipe ahead of time, which doesn't always happen, but if I have time to like chop and do all that jazz ahead of time, if things are going into the pot, onto the sheet pan, whatever, at the same time, I always just chop them and put them in the same bowl. It just makes it easier. Then you're gonna need some chicken stock. And kind of in that same realm of putting things in the same bowls and containers, here's where we have all of our spices. Now this is where that tip is really gonna benefit you because you're not rushing as you're standing over a hot pan, measuring out a ½ teaspoon of garlic powder and a ¼ tablespoon of salt and all that jazz. So here we have some oregano, thyme, cayenne pepper, paprika, and garlic. Here we just have salt and garlic powder, and then this is salt, garlic powder, and pepper. And then you need some green onions as like kind of to finish off the meal. These don't get added on until later. Now I'm gonna tell you what I had to purchase and what I spent. So I had to buy the ground beef, which was $3.99. The riced cauliflower was $1.89. My onion was 60 cents. The bell pepper was 89 cents. The celery was $1.29 and the chicken stock was $1.99. So that was everything I had to buy. Essentially, I had the green onion, the spices, and the avocado oil. So that comes out to $10.65. So this makes 4 meals, which comes out to $2.66-ish a meal, which is fabulous. Now, obviously, your price is gonna skyrocket if you have to go and buy spices. But if you think about it that you only have to buy those spices one time, then the next time you make this meal, it's going to obviously be significantly cheaper. So I'm really pumped. I'm also really hungry. It's like almost 10 o'clock. Yeah, it's 9:32. So I need to get to getting and start cooking. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, friends, so we're gonna start. I wish I had a light on my stove that worked, but I don't. We're gonna start with our 3 tablespoons of avocado oil in a pan over medium heat. Now they do suggest to use a cast iron skillet. I do not have one. So I do think that might change the flavor of the recipe a little bit, only because at one point they say to like scrape the bits, like the brown bits off of the bottom, and I don't think that that we're gonna get that result after cooking our meat. So I'm gonna let that sit in there for a hot minute, pun intended. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add in my ground beef. All right, then I'm gonna season it with my pepper, garlic powder, and salt, and just start breaking it up. Beef is all browned, and now we're going to reduce the heat a smidge and add our onion, bell pepper, and celery. Next, we're just going to cook this down. It says for about 5 minutes until the veggies start to get soft. So this has been simmering for about 5 minutes. My onions are getting clear. I actually like my onions to have a little bite to them, especially in like a dish like this where it's a rice. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that that is done. Next I'm gonna add my, what is this? Thyme, oregano, garlic, cayenne pepper, and paprika. And it says to add it and then just stir it for about a minute. That. All right, so that looks pretty well incorporated. Now this would be the part if you had a cast iron skillet where you would scrape the bits off of the bottom, but obviously we don't have that problem. So we're just gonna go to the next step, which is adding our rice cauliflower. And you're adding it frozen, just FYI. Our 1/4 cup of stock, and then the rest of our salt and our garlic powder. Okay, so friends, it's essentially done. The next step is to just let the frozen cauliflower rice cook. So I'm just gonna set the timer for 5 minutes, stir it every now and then, and kind of see if that's enough time for the cauliflower to become tender. So I'll show you the finished product in the pot, and then after that, we'll go ahead and plate it. Alright guys, so my timer just beeped. This is what it looks like after 5 minutes. It smells amazing. Now, I did take a bite of it just to try it to see if I needed to adjust any seasonings. Lindsay had actually made this before I did. She made it last night or the night before, and she thought it needed more salt. I think it tastes completely fine. It's delicious. The bell pepper is not fully cooked. It has a little bite to it. I'm okay with that because otherwise it's essentially like a bowl of mush. So I'm okay that there's gonna be some texture in there. So what I am gonna do now that I have tried it is I'm gonna plate it and I'm gonna top it with sour cream, some tapatio, and some green onion. I always suggest that before you start adding those kind of condiments, try it. Because you never know, you might be ruining it with the sour cream or the hot sauce or whatever, but I tried it. I know that it'll taste really good on it. I am fully aware this is not like a Mexican dish or like, you know, the flavors of like a taco casserole or a taco soup or something. Like, it's supposed to be dirty rice, but we don't care around here. We put tapatio and sour cream on almost everything, so that's what we're gonna do today. All right, y'all, here is what it looks like plated. This looks like a legit meal, and I'm very surprised as to how long it took. I felt like this was a very quick recipe that was not too labor intensive. So we got the dirty cauliflower rice with the sour cream and the tapatio. They kind of blend in with the green bell peppers, but there are green onions on there as well. The one kind of frustrating thing about this recipe, which I find frustrating when it comes to recipes that don't do this just in general, not only pertaining to this particular one, but is when they tell you how many servings it is, they give you the macros, and then they don't tell you how much a serving is. So there's no like, oh, it's this many ounces, or it's, you know, one serving is 1 cup. There's nothing. So I eyeballed it tonight because it's currently 10 p.m. on the dot, and I am not about to start measuring, dividing by 4. Like, I'm just not doing it. So I completely eyeballed it. But if you're curious, this is 4 servings, like I mentioned earlier, and per serving, it's 327 calories, 19 grams of fat, 10 carbs, but 3 fibers, so 7 net carbs and 27 grams of protein. I feel like for a meal, especially for a dinner, those macros are like pretty on point. You're getting more protein than fat, but I like that those numbers are kind of on the higher side. So yeah, I feel like this recipe was a complete win-win. So if you guys have not gone over to Because We Bike as you've been watching this video and subscribed, go do that now. Go do it. I will of course link her video in the cards and in the description box, as well as just her channel in general. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I have been having a lot of people in comment sections when I do my like live streams and I ask what kind of content you guys are looking for. A lot of people are saying recipe videos, meal prep videos, grocery ideas, that type of thing. So if that is something that you do want, please let me know in the comments, and please give this video a thumbs up, because that tells me that you like the recipe videos and that I will continue to do them. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, of course, and drop me a comment down below. Do you have a particular suggestion about this recipe? Maybe a way that we can tweak it, a different meat that we could add, a different take that we can have on it, or do you have just any recipes in general that are your favorite? This is the first recipe video I have done in months, so anything like food recipe specific, let's just like start an open dialogue in the comment section. You guys know I'm there all the time and I check my comments every night, so don't hesitate. And I will catch you guys on Friday. I think it's going to be a what I eat in a day. I have a pre-recorded video, but I don't think I'm gonna put that up. I think it's gonna be a what I eat in a day. So I will see you all for that.